Sekretaris Yayasan Alkahairaat, Abdul Gafar Mallo, Dekan Fakultas Syariah, dan Ustaz M. Said, do my presentation in English, and then maybe if there is need for translation, then my colleague Novri Anthony will be able to support. So thank you all very much for coming today in action. As for the ICRC, you learned a little bit about our work from my colleague Fikri, and for us, we have developed a very close relationship with religious leaders to serve the neediest in society, particularly in times of crisis such as war or natural disaster. So, I will start my presentation. First of all, why the ICRC was founded more than 150 years ago was to support soldiers wounded on the battlefield. As our founder, Henri Dunant, who Fikri talked about, he came across a lacking medical care, no one telling their families what had happened. And this is why he set up the ICRC. However, what we're seeing in wars today, maybe next slide, is more and more civilian wars, was mainly between states. So warfare, for example, in the First World War, you had the armies of Britain and France fighting the armies of Germany and Russia. But nowadays, if we think around the world today, we have less war and warfare. The vast majority of the people killed or injured are regular civilians like you and me. So, next slide. And more we are seeing warfare moving into cities. So you'll have seen in the news in the past 10 years, cities totally destroyed by war. If we think in Iraq, we saw Mosul in the fight between the Islamic State and the Iraqi armies supported by the Americans, the whole city destroyed. Same in Iraq. And while Islam is perhaps our deepest engagement in terms of comparative legal studies, over the past few years, we have very much been working these laws about having the Geneva Conventions, about having international humanitarian law, obviously, is that everyone who's involved in conflict must know about the law. They must understand it and be able to respect the law. And obviously, when there is fighting, people cannot go to the field, people cannot work, and then this leads to other consequences. Famine. People do not have enough to eat. Now in Afghanistan, we are very, very worried that people will start to starve. And magnified many times. And what we've seen is a very, very concerning trend is deliberate targeting of healthcare, where certain groups deliberately attack hospitals. We saw yesterday in Afghanistan the consequences of war. So in Southeast Asia now, obviously we have major conflicts in Myanmar. Before, for a long time, we had conflicts in Sri Lanka, all Buddhist countries. So we've worked together with Buddhist scholars here. We're more and more developing our work with Christian universities, Christian circles, such as Semata-mata University in Yogyakarta, looking at how the ICRC can work with Christian leaders to reduce
yang sampai 6 bulan lebih peperangannya gitu. Ini yang kita saksikan, dan orang harus mengungsi dari peperangan ini sampai 300.000 orang. Kemudian hancurnya fasilitas-fasilitas kesehatan.